So hopefully tonight we won't have any more technical issues. Yesterday, Virgin Internet stopped halfway through the stream. It's not terribly helpful, and they do that a lot. So I'm not super impressed with them. Right, let's just get the right link. The BE link. Okay, that's good. Okay, so that's good. Let's just get the right link. The right link in Facebook in case anybody wants to join along there. Brilliant. Okay, so hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virgin Internet Sucks show. Yes, it was yesterday. It was called The Real You, but because Virgin Internet crashed in the middle of the show, it's now called the Virgin Internet Sucks show, at least for tonight. So hopefully there won't be a repeat of that, and we'll manage to finish it. So I'm going to have to kind of go from the beginning because we were just building up to something important. So, so far, in the other shows, we've been talking about, finding things to do and, finding out who you are and what you should do and all those kind of things. But, the other side of that, particularly for me anyway, is that you may have too much to do. In fact, you may have so much to do, you can't do anything because you can't decide. And then the case is, what do we do? Because we don't really want to abandon anything, but, literally there is not enough time to do everything. But on the other side, variety is the spice of life. So, we're explorers, we like new stuff, and, we need to see some yang so that we appreciate the yin. Okay, so again, we need, variety, but we also need to, drill down and focus. So how do we, cope with that? Because it's quite paralyzing, to be honest. So, the sheer weight of choices, the things that we could do, stops us from doing as much as we could do. So again, how do we cope with this? So, we have more options I have more options in every direction than I can ever do in a single lifetime. So I need more than one lifetime to even get close to everything I need to do. So, I've got more entertainment than I can ever watch, in my lifetime now. I've got more training than I can ever watch in my lifetime now. I've got more sound music samples than I can ever go through in my lifetime now. I have more ideas than I could ever start in my remaining lifetime, and I even have more domain names than I could possibly, nurture, and do them justice than I can do in a single lifetime. So what do I do? What do I do when I have that many options? And the other thing, which is a problem, is that, how can we feel fulfilled, about anything when we can't even pick, what to do? Okay, so, maybe having too many options isn't, an issue for many of you, but you probably do have, an incredible amount of options, but maybe you're better at drilling down and working out what's important than I am, but I'm not. So, the fact I have that many options actually is a huge burden and stops me getting, as much done as I should be doing because I'm always thinking, am I doing the right thing or should I be doing, the other thing? So this is how I'm going to cope with this. Okay. So the first thing is, we can't make time. Okay. So, clever people might say, just make more time so you can get more done, but you can't make time. You simply choose not to do something else. But as I've said, all of these things are important to me. I don't really want to abandon any of them. It's just that I, practically can't finish, 99% of them in a single lifetime. So what do we do? So, if we think of, the amount of time and energy you have as being this, blue bar, and, let's just put, a practicality in here, which is we might need to sleep. So I'm not going to sleep for much. Okay, because obviously we can cut down our sleeping time and do a little bit more, but again we've got to realise that we do need some time, to rest and sleep and eat and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and then the other thing, sorry, I should have done that, I think. And then the other thing is, how do we fit everything we need to do, in this time? Okay, so we also in another show. Oh, I'll get that down there. There we are. We also went through time management, and basically, we can try and divide the day into little blocks of time, but that doesn't really suit what's going on, because that's a very linear process. And what I shared with you is that really what we want to be focusing on is working towards, and that means that we have a goal, and there are at least 5 major things towards achieving that goal. And the point is that they're not done once and they're over. Okay, they're not done once and it's over. So it's a continual cycle of nurturing each of these kind of spinning plates to keep the goal moving. So again, if it's a cyclic process and it goes round and round and round, again, this linear time format doesn't really help us. Now, we can fit the activities into this linear thing if you want to, but the reality is it's actually a continual circle that we need to nurture. So bringing that back into this. In fact, let me copy that over, I think. How do we get that to happen, in light of, this minimal block of time that we've got? Okay. And, basically what we're saying, or what I'm saying, is, there may be more than one, goal. There may be more than one project or, pillar of your, life. And, so in my case, I've tried hard to bring it down to 3, but I can't really bring it down, to less than 3. So, but practically these 3 are not going to fit in to the time that's available. So, that's, still an issue. So what do we do? So what I decided is the best plan is basically we need one single focus so that we get it done, basically, to be honest. So somehow you have to pick the most important thing, to you, and dedicate most of your time, to that. Okay, and and as I say, it's a cyclic process, so it's never really over. So we just keep doing that. But rather than doing, let me draw it like this. But rather than just dedicating all of the time, which it won't even fit on this diagram. Rather than dedicating all of the time, that would mean that we have to abandon these other ideas. Okay, so what I have worked out is that the best way to do this is to dedicate on the most important idea, but then to keep these other ideas in the wings and work on them. And also because as I say, everything's cyclic, at some point they will get to be nearer to finished. But the reason why I want to do this is because it means that I'm not tied down to the one idea, and that if I freak out over it and I think I'm not getting anywhere, and um, I'm kind of what's the word? Well, bored. Let's say bored. I'm bored doing the same thing over and over again because there's nothing really, there's not as much new and excitement going on. These other two, pillars are going to keep me excited because they're fresh and I've always got something else to look forward to, but it's not, um, taking away the time and energy share that the big project the main project needs. But the other thing, that I think is going to happen is that, because you're trying to because I'm kind of trickle working on all of them, I think they may swap in results and in progress and, and in success. And so, if something's happening, if something's bubbling, if something's about to break, then I can, divert that major block of time onto that one instead. Now, I'm not talking about rotating, just one to the other, because that's, not going to give the spread of focus that we really need. But what I'm saying is that we're going to juggle these other pots here, and if any one of them breaks out and becomes successful, or just needs more attention at that moment so that it can, keep flying, then that's a possibility that we can then, for that short period, we can divert the focus on that. Okay. Now, so what it, kind of means is that, if this is, the project at nothing and this is the project completed and this is, kind of a level, and in fact, there'll probably be, another level down here. What we're saying is, or what I'm saying is, the main project is going to have the main, emphasis on it. Let me make that green. So it's gonna, happily chug along and get towards being finished. But because we're juggling, dipping in with these other ones, they're not dead. They're not dormant projects. They're happening. And so, that one might get to, eventually to there. And then the other one, because, again, we're just, we're not spending equal amounts of time on all of them. We're just, doing what we can. We're dipping in and keeping them alive and helping them to flourish. That might only get to there. Okay. And as I say, if the priority changes for some reason or something that needs a little bit more love so that it can keep going, we can divert attention to that. But, our main project is still our main project. But these other projects are not dead. They're not dormant. They're happening. And if they get the love they deserve, if they get the results they deserve, then, they can spring into life. Okay. Because also, if one of these projects becomes successful, then the way to, to break out of it, basically is to get help. But if the project's working, that probably means money's coming in. And if there's money coming in, that means I can probably get help. So this is kind of the progress, on your own without help. Okay. And as I say, you're keeping everything alive. But when something breaks out, when something's going to be successful, you can get help with it. And then, that's basically, creating a mini me kind of thing. And these people can help you with, whichever it is. Maybe you assign that help to the main project, or maybe it's the fringe project. But so however, you want to do it. But the point is that, we can do more if we get help. And the only reason we don't do that normally is because if the project isn't working, or the results aren't there, or nobody seems to like it, or whatever it is, then we can't really afford or justify help from others. And also, if it's not a successful project, others want to help out. But if it's looking good, if it's going to be successful, then people are going to want to help you for it to come to fruition. So and if we didn't do this bubbling thing, if we didn't try and keep all the plates in the air, okay, no matter how small, then that would never be an option. Okay, because what I'm basically saying is that this is so important and so good, it will take a lifetime. So it could obliterate the whole screen. But the trouble is, it's not the only thing that I want to do. I want to do at least two other things as well. And as I say, I can't do a third of the time and energy in each, because the big project warrants and deserves all of my attention and budget and focus and everything. But again, until it's successful, until it takes off, until people like it, I can't get help in because I can't pay for it. Okay, so and again, it could be that it stays like that for decades. Okay, but again, if I'm doing these other two things and keeping them alive and putting them in the air, if they ever break out, then and they break out and get success, then then there'll be a budget to get help to to increase whichever ones need help. So so that's the thing, and rather than focus on the one thing and try and raise money, or get investors or whatever, to get this extra help so that it can, flourish, and then free my time to then do the other two. Then those other two projects would be dead. They'd be dormant. Okay. Whereas again, if I say, if I can keep the plates in the air, no matter how little, then there's a chance that all three of them could break. Okay. Whereas if we only do one, then only one can break. Break out. I mean, not fail. So if we do three, keep them all drip fed, keep them all alive, then there's three times the chances that all three of them will take off at some point. But the other beautiful thing about this is that it means that I can do three things that I love. Okay, and and that's going to keep me fresh and rejuvenated, and all that kind of stuff, which is going to keep me more efficient even for the main project. Okay, so it's all beneficial because they'll all feed into each other, and there may even be some synergy between the ideas, and some commonality, and the skills you learn and the people you meet, and all of that kind of stuff might be complementary, and might might actually aid all of them. Okay, let me just get there we go. Okay, so as I say, it could be that actually I'll leave it at that kind of it could be that feeds into that project. I wasn't very good with it. Like that. And maybe into the other one as well. And also this one also may feed into the next one. So there could be a synergy in them. But again, for me, the beauty of this is that if I keep them all alive to some extent, I'm getting the the reward, the satisfaction of doing the three things at once, but giving the main thing the focus it deserves. But as I say, because everything's really cyclic anyway, it's not about investing all the time in one, and it's not about dividing the time between all of them, because none of those things work. Whereas, this way, I think that it's going to be very, rewarding, and it's going to give all of the projects, a major, a major chance, a major leg up. Okay, so that may not seem revolutionary to you, but to me it is, because it means I don't have to abandon anything. I don't have to, and because of that, I don't really have to choose. Again, always normally it's not a case of choosing which. It's choosing, in which order. Okay, that's really the way it works. But when there's so much stuff, then oh, when there's so much stuff, which order? So let me put this in. Never choosing which, but in which order, i.e., which one first. Okay, but as I say, when there's so much to do, then even that isn't true. So what do? We don't want to abandon, these other things that are important to us, and we don't want to dilute the time and energy we put into the main project. So this is the perfect kind of version for me, in that it's a cyclic thing, and every now and again, you invest a bit of time and energy, into the other projects to to keep them fed, nurtured, and alive, so that they're not abandoned and dormant. And as I say, there may be synergy between them, but also it is really about the reward. It means you're not a single bow person. You've got these other things, in your arsenal, in your war chest, or whatever you want to call it. But we're being realistic, and we're not trying to divide our time. I mean, I can't tell you the number of times I've tried to create a schedule where I can handle, 3 projects at once or something. And it's insane, and ultimately I can't, realistically every day, spend 62.3 minutes on a particular task for one project, and then 39.7 minutes on another project for another task for another project. It's I mean, physically I can do it, and I guess if I was disciplined enough I could do it, but I'm not, and I have to accept that, really. And so and as we said in other shows, if you're not in the mood for it, then you're really not efficient at it. Okay, you can chain yourself to the desk and make yourself do it, but you're usually so inefficient that it's pitiful. On one occasion I stayed up all night to 4 a.m. in the morning trying to write these 5 lines of code to overcome a particular problem that I'd got to, and I thought, I can't go to bed now and wake up with this still there, because I'm thinking, what if I can't solve it tomorrow? I can't afford to waste all of tomorrow on this. So I need to stay up all night and finish these 5 lines of code, and I did. But it did take me to 4 a.m. in the morning. But then when I got up, I wrote, I think 108 lines it was of code in 2 hours. Okay, which is the way it should go. And also in that process, those 108 lines of code, dispensed with the need for the 5 lines of code for the problem that I thought, because by just getting the order right in the 108 lines of code, the problem that I had to get around with 5 lines of code didn't even exist. It wasn't even an issue, and that's how unproductive you can be when you're not in the mood. Now, obviously, we should be more disciplined, and we should be able to get in the mood and all that kind of stuff. But if you're not, and you have to accept that, then what do we do? And we don't want to give ourselves an excuse all the time, and we can't afford to avoid things that we don't like all the time. But if you're in the flow of something, and it needs to be done, then do it, because as I say, it's part of this cycle of events that need to happen. So as I say, it doesn't matter what you pick; they all need to be done. So it's just a case of what order and what percentage of time and energy you give each one. It could be that we go too far and invest too much time and too much energy in one particular activity. So we need to be, wary of that. But nonetheless, in this goal, all 5 activities need to be done. And they don't need to be done basically. I mean, in some, minor cases they do, but, they don't need to be done in order, linear order of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It's all about, do number 5, do number 3, do number 2, because they all need to be done. Okay, and as I say, they're independent enough that or most of the things are independent enough that they don't need to be done in an order. Some things are, need to be done in a certain order. Like you have to have something. Something has to exist. Well, no, even that's not actually true. I was going to say something has to exist before you can promote it. Okay, but even that's not true, because you can promote the fact that it's coming. Okay, and then when it's come, then you say, well, and now it's arrived. Okay, so we can even promote things that don't even exist. Okay, be they songs or articles or videos or whatever, books, whatever it is you're doing. Okay, we can just do a pre-launch of it. So so again, it's not true that it has to be done 1, 2, 3, 4. In fact, it's in business terms, it's miles better that it's not. It's much better that you pre-launch it, pre-announce it, ask the market if they want it, tell them that it's coming and what would they like in it, and then make the product, because then that there's demand and market fit, and it's what the market actually wants. Which if you just think, I must make the perfect product and I'm going to spend 3 years doing it, and then I'm going to ask people if they want it. I had a business that did that once. It's a total disaster, because you spend 3 years perfecting it on what you think is perfection, and then you go to market and they don't even want it, or their version of perfection is nothing like yours, or they see it completely differently. They see something which is super obvious, but you just couldn't see it at the time. Okay, and that's why asking the market is really important. And before you make it, so that you're not putting all your effort and energy and time into something that isn't wanted. So again, we don't want to even do 1, 2, 3, 4. Make the product, then ask people if they want it, and then tell people that you've got it, etc., etc. We very much want to, kind of pre-launch and pre-seed the idea to see if anybody wants it and what they would like in it. Okay, and then we can involve them and ask them what they want, and they're going to wait, a while anyway, certainly. And then when it's out, there's a strong chance that they'll buy it, because they've been waiting for it for a long time. It's got everything in it that they want, because you've asked them and they've told you, and that it's in demand because people have told you that this is actually what they want. This is how they see it. These are their stumbling blocks. These are the features that they really need. And again, all of that might be something you've never, would have imagined unless you'd asked them. So again, just this 1, 2, 3 linear concept doesn't work in real life. Okay, that's why, we want to do these goals, and then we want to do these activities towards these goals. And as I say, these goals are not normally ever over. If you're writing a book, you tend to want to edit it. Even when you finish one book, there's another book to write. So the task of book writing never really ends. Okay, because there's this book, it needs editing, it needs updating, and then there's another book to do. Same thing again, and then in terms of promoting the books. Again, you have to go back in and take out new bits and do new promotions and new angles and new interviews and put new spins on, what it means and why it's appropriate for the time in history kind of thing. And and why it's even more relevant now than it was when you first wrote it, and all that kind of stuff. And what it means to you may have changed, and what it means to other people, may have not even changed, but will have developed. Okay, so that's why I see that as being important. And so, in terms of having multiple ideas or multiple projects or whatever it is you want to describe it as, multiple personal life ambitions, personal superpowers that you want to develop. We need to be realistic about putting our main focus in the main idea for most of the time. But as I say, rather than leaving the other ideas and projects and dreams, dormant, so that nothing can happen, even if we just trickle feed them, whenever we can, however small amount, it will lead to, something great happening. Or it certainly could do, but certainly definitely more than if we don't do anything with them and just let them die on a shelf. And as I say, just the personal reward of being able to still do all three big ideas is very satisfying. Okay, so that's basically it. So I don't know what you think of that and how it fits in with what you're doing, but I think this is the most practical way of doing it, and I think it works brilliantly. Um, because as I say, you're giving everything a chance, and if it does break out and it becomes successful, then that's the moment when you can get help, either with it or with the other one or the other one, whatever it is. But until something breaks, until people, show that they value it, you don't know what to do. It could be that, the big idea is not even going to work. Okay, and we're investing our whole lives in it, which would be a disaster. But at least if we've got these other two things in the background still bubbling along, if, either any of them get noticed, then that's the one then that we can run with to make it fly. Okay, so that's basically it. I know that might seem blindingly obvious to you, but as I say, every time I've tried to tackle it before, I've basically tried to divide the time evenly, or as near evenly as matters. And the point is, you can't really, or I can't do three different things in one day. It's just the focus, is so massive for each one, and it's really hard to get into the swing of it and get in the zone. So really, if you've got something and you're running with it and you're in the zone, then you want to run with it. You don't want to, divert your focus or attention on the other things just because the other things, are in the to-do list. They're waiting there in the wings. Whereas this way, we put, our time and energy in the thing that we're in the zone with. The thing that the idea that's the most important to us. But we know that we can, when we break, we've got these other major things that we can focus on. And again, that's great because, effectively they're a rest, and a time to recharge, from the main idea. And also it means we're not going to get bored and fatigued and frustrated with the big idea because at least there are these other things waiting in the wings, that we're, juggling with, trickle loving them, however you want to describe that, to make sure that, everything has a chance in the end of success. Okay, so that was kind of it. We've managed to get through the show without Virgin Internet screwing up again. So that's a relief. So I don't think any. Hang on, let me just refresh that. I don't think any questions or comments or feedback or tomatoes being thrown as projectiles have come in. So yeah, let me just put a little comment in there. Okay, I'm not going to read it out. You can go look at the comments to see what I've written. And that's that is the answer. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to go now. I'm just going to leave the YouTube thing running for a little while because I don't understand, how it ends. Otherwise, it seems to, cut the end off for some reason. So I'm just going to mute that. I'm just going to. Oops, I didn't want that. There we are. So I'm just going to end the show there, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Bye bye.